It's the final Saturday of the summer. The USL Championship playoffs just right around the corner as we roll into fall next week. Got a good one tonight in the Western Conference. San Antonio FC and New Mexico United here on Bally Sports. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. We say hello from the broadcast booth along with Hayden Partain. I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us here this evening. Well, Hayden, San Antonio FC, like every club, goes into a season with a preseason list of goals. And for SAFC and Alan Marcina, they've checked off half their goals here as they come into week 28.
Yeah, we've talked about it every game, really. They've started the season off tremendously. They've got, obviously, 2 more goals that they're going to want to knock off, by the end of the year.
Have an opportunity to clinch the top of the table in the West tonight if they get a win and some help from San Diego and Colorado Springs. And here's the race for the #1 overall seed in USL Championship. SAFC with a 3-point lead over Louisville City and a game in hand. So, really in the driver's seat to finish with the best overall point total.
Yeah, like you said, they're in the driver's seat, and having home games for the rest of the season, that only helps them. And
a big reason why SAFC is sitting in the driver's seat coming into week 28 has been the play of their keeper, Jordan Farr, who's been outstanding. 17 wins on the season for Jordan. He's tops in the Golden Boot race, Hayden, and I tell you what, teams like to build from the back out. Well, better guy to have, man in those pipes.
Yeah, he's been a great leader. His communication with his back line is just tremendous. I don't think I gave him enough credit last weekend for the PK save, but his intuition is just great in the back, and he's done really well for SAFC this year.
It was the first penalty that SAFC conceded, and it was in the second half. Big save from Jordan Farr to pick up the victory against San Diego. And Jordan, as you saw, he's tied Diego Restrepo for the most clean sheets in club history. That .81 goals against average has him second in the Golden Glove race. Diego's goals against average back in 2017 was .8, so he's on track for that as well, Hayden. And he's going to be tested tonight by a New Mexico club that has won 2 of their last 3 visits to Toyota Field, including that playoff match back in 2020.
It's going to be a great challenge, really leading up to playoffs as well. It's going to be good dress rehearsal.
SAFC, New Mexico United, always a fun one when these two get together. And before we get to tonight, let's celebrate Nicky Hernandez, the goal of the month from August, the sharp angled shot that found its way past the Las Vegas Lights keeper into the back of the net. We'll have starting lineups and kick when we return here on Bally Sports. San Antonio FC Soccer on Bally Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. Dust settling over Toyota Field. Is a picture-perfect Saturday evening here as we come towards the end of September. It is the final Saturday of the summer. Fall begins on Thursday, and we've got basketball-like conditions for you here, and it's going to feel like a playoff-type match. As we bring your starting 11s for both sides tonight for New Mexico United under first-year head coach Zach Prince. Chris Wehan is the man that SAFC fans have grown to hate over the years. Career 33 goals in his 84 matches with New Mexico. He is United's all-time leading goal scorer. And for San Antonio FC, a couple of key injuries still. No Fabian Garcia, no Justin Dillon, no Santiago Patino in the 11 tonight. So Nacho Baialoni, who got the goal against San Diego in the first half last Saturday, will make his second consecutive start up top with Christian Perano and Sam Adeniran. As Alan Marcina looks on, SAFC, which leads USL with 20 wins and 63 points. And those are club records on both accounts. And SAFC is still chasing the USL all-time records for wins and points, 24 and 78, that are both controlled by the 2019 Phoenix Rising side. As Connor Maloney gets ready to go, and we are ready for kickoff here on this, again, gorgeous Saturday evening. Temperature 89 degrees, breeze out of the southeast, 16 miles an hour, and we're glad to have you along. Opening kick tonight brought to you by Pizza Hut, along with Hayden Partsane and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us on Bally Sports. It's the 7th all-time meeting between SAFC and New Mexico United. Two clubs have split the previous 6 matches, with SAFC winning 3, United winning 3. SAFC in the regular season has beaten United 2 out of 3 matches here at Toyota Field and have outscored them 8-1 in the regular season here at Toyota Field. But as mentioned in the open, Hayden, United has won 2 out of their last 3 visits to Toyota Field, which included that 1-0 win in extra time back in November of 2020 in the playoffs. Yep,
my last professional game. I'll never forget it. So they found a way to win here when it mattered. So this is going to be a huge test and a great game for both teams leading into the playoffs.
Right now, SAFC, which is at the top of the table with an 11-point lead over San Diego Loyal. Their magic number to clinch the top of the table in the West is 5. They can do that tonight if they win this match against New Mexico, and if they get a little bit of help from Colorado Springs, which is on the road tonight in RGV, and from San Diego, which is hosting Phoenix. So if both San Diego and Colorado just don't win, and SAFC wins, then SAFC has an opportunity to take the top of the table tonight. We see that at least 2 or 3 times every single match these days. Mitchell Tainer getting on the end of a service across the face of goal.
Yeah, great ball from Abu. Driven ball, back stick. Mitch is either trying to head it back across or get it on frame. Just couldn't get enough power behind it.
And what's amazing about those situations is, as I mentioned, we see that 2 or 3 times a match. How is Mitchell Tainer that unmarked in that set-piece opportunity right there?
Either it's overlooked in scouting reports, or he's just that good at getting open.
SAFC on a good run of form. 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat in the last 5 matches. And the offside flag is up on the run by Nacho Baialoni. New Mexico United has lost 3 straight coming into tonight's match. Just 1-4 in their last 5. They fell in the Valley last Saturday night, 3-1 against RGV, and then 2-1 at El Paso the Saturday before. Having said that, as you take a look at first-year head coach Zach Prince, they come into tonight having won 7 of their 14 road matches this year. They're 7-3-4 away from the Lab in Albuquerque. Of course, it was in 2020 where they played their entire season on the road, which made them a dangerous foe coming into Toyota Field. But they've learned to be road warriors because of that 2020 COVID season where they couldn't play any home games in Albuquerque, and have blossomed that into the future seasons of 21 and then the current season here in 22. It's odd not to see the well-dressed Troy Lesane manning the sidelines tonight for New Mexico United. Best-dressed head coach in USL Championship, always wearing a full suit. Saw Zach Prince, who was his top assistant for the first 3 years. Surprise departure by Troy right at the end of the 21 season. Zach Prince, his top lieutenant, taking over. And he's brought back, Hayden, 14 players from last year's club and 8 players still from the inaugural 2019 team, which makes you wonder why they only have 11 wins in 29 games so far.
Yeah, you would think there would be a big sense of camaraderie and, familiarity with each other. But that's kind of unheard of, to be honest, in the USL Championship. There's a lot of turnover. There's a lot of trades. There's better contracts offered from other clubs. So you don't see many players staying in a club, you know, more than 2 years max.
It was Will Seymour, the right back, who got that one forward where it was defended out by Mitchell Tainer. It'll be a throw here coming up for Seymour and New Mexico United. They're 5th in the West table coming into tonight, 42 points. They're 4 points behind Sacramento, but only 2 points up on El Paso, which is currently sitting in that number 6 position right now, as I'll be awarded back to Jordan Farr here off that service by Seymour from the right flag. So critical points tonight for New Mexico United, especially for a club that, again, has lost 4 of their last 5 matches. They're trying to get themselves back in form heading into the playoffs. Obviously just want to be able to clinch a playoff spot first. So points tonight here on the road at Toyota Field, where they've, as mentioned, had some success here before, can certainly go a long way to achieving that. Sam Adeniran will come up here with Connor Maloney to take the throw for SAFC, which is wearing their alternate kits once again here tonight. The sort of checker, red and black there with a white trim. New Mexico in their familiar yellow kits trimmed in black. Harry Swartz. And there's the aforementioned Chris Wehan making his first touch. Wehan, now 28 years of age in his 6th season. He's 48 goals in 144 career USL Championship matches. And, of course, just some killer goals against SAFC over the years.
Yes, Wehan is a fantastic player. He sees the game a little differently. He's a creative mind. Played really well with Reno. Was with San Jose briefly as well.
Former All-USL second-team player. And yes, I still think Wehan may have committed a handball infraction on the goal in extra time. Was not called. But we'll let bygones be bygones for now. Of course, if this season ends up in a USL Championship Cup for SAFC, then I think all will be forgotten when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we can't hate the player. He's got to play the game, and the ref didn't make the call. The ref didn't make the call.
As Alex Timbakis will get rid of this one here for New Mexico. The 29-year-old from Greece who's in his 2nd season with United. He's got a record of 23, 16, and 16 in 55 appearances with New Mexico. Harry Swartz pulled down by Connor Maloney. Play on here. And United with an opportunity, and the save is parried away there by Jordan Farr on the chance from Sergio Rivas. Let that one go just at the top of the box.
Yeah, that's a great save from Jordan Farr. I know the shot didn't look like it had much power, but it was in the corner and it dropped. Makes it more difficult for Farr, but well done to put it out for a corner.
Rivas is a former 1st-round pick by San Jose back in 2019. So 2 goals this season. Service into the box is headed and settled by Harry Swartz, but Swartz loses possession. And Jordan Farr once again awarded the ball. 26-year-old Swartz, who is back in New Mexico for a 2nd season, making his 36th appearance with United. They are sitting some of their better front runners, I guess you would call them, from strictly resume standpoints coming into tonight's match. No Kevon Frater, no Armando Moreno to start tonight's game, and they're both on the bench, as is Devin Sandoval, who's been the face of this club for the majority of their franchise. Sandoval actually came back to New Mexico United in the middle of this season, signing back on. And Kevon Frater, who was part of their original 2019 squad, he too just joined the squad as well after beginning the season overseas. So I guess AFC, they're trying to find pieces here in the middle of the season and hopefully gel by the time it counts once we get to November. Connor Maloney. Nacho Bailoni will volley that one back. Christian Pirano goes to ground, stays with possession, and Pirano just bounces back up and will continue the play.
Love it.
Harry Swartz will run him off the ball, and they'll actually call Pirano for the foul there.
There's no one better at tackle dribbles than Christian Pirano. Now, he's very skillful and very shifty, and he on the run gets a lot of clean dribbles, but he will find a way to tackle dribble. He will not quit on that ball.
This is Perano's 5th match since rejoining SAFC. I was talking to Alan Marcina yesterday and some of the staff, and I asked what's different about Christian now than when he was first here 3 years ago. And he said, well, and he, like you, just pronounced tremendous effusion for Christian. He just loves the way he plays. But he said that, you know, when he was overseas playing for his Portuguese club and really in Greece, which is where he was at the start of the season, as we get a foul on Connor Maloney here in the midfield, Christian kind of learned to play more of the European style. Didn't really necessarily have the ball at his feet, didn't play the relentless press, the flag-to-flag style that Alan Marcina incorporates. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment for him coming back. And of course, to your point, SAFC wants him to always have the ball at his feet. That necessarily wasn't his role playing in Greece earlier this season.
Yeah, I tracked him and watched a few games that he played. He really had to play in more of a system, whereas, you know, here in the USL, he could just be purely himself. You know, he could get on the ball, and then I think what it will do is it's going to translate back is he's going to be able to play in this system, figure that out. Obviously, it's an adjustment period, but with that, I know for sure on the offensive side, you know, Alan Marcina is going to be like, Christian, just go be you.
Just
go
be
do
yourself,
your thing.
exactly.
So that'll be great to see.
Here's a wee hand service, and Harry Swartz heads that one over goal, getting a free header just at the top of the 6-yard box there. But to your point, I think some may look at Perano here through the first, you know, 4 matches, saying, well, he's got 1 assist. You know, how much has he impacted the game so far? But I think you look beyond the numbers with Perano. But yet, having said that, I love Alan Marcina gave me this nugget too. He said, we're tracking Christian. He's running 10,000 meters a match. So drawing up some of the own data and analytics, they're showing how much Perano has worked coming back here in the few matches he's spent with SAFC.
Yeah, and if you're a viewer and lover of the game, he does very minimal, subtle things off the ball and movements and different passes that you really wouldn't pay attention to, but they're helping the team in lots of ways.
Bailone may have gotten away with a push-off on Alexis Suahe. SAFC will keep possession. Connor Maloney trying to send Bailone off on the run. He gets tugged a little bit and will earn the foul. It'll be whistled on the captain, Sam Hamilton. Just enough of the arm and the jersey there of Bailone that'll earn SAFC the opportunity on the set piece.
Yeah, it's a bit handsy on it. It's unnecessary and not really smart at the end of the day. If Bailone is going to feel any initiation of contact, he has the opportunity to go down, and the ref, you know, thought it was enough.
Saw the first set piece from Mohamed Abu that found Mitchell Tainer. Allen also commented on the fact that how much better SAFC has been on set pieces this year than in previous seasons. Now, he hasn't loved the way they've defended set pieces, but the attack on set pieces has really been tremendous. Abu once again will try to deliver some magic here with his left foot.
Yeah, I could see him whipping in this ball rather than driving it, just right between that sea of yellow shirts and the goalkeeper.
Tainer coming forward now, and he does whip that ball in, and it takes a direction off Bailone's right foot and ends up right into the welcoming arms of Alex Tambakis.
Yeah, I think goalkeeping positioning is key here. There's a great header from Bailone. Had to redirect it, but I think it was a little behind him. He couldn't get as much power as he might have liked.
Yeah, I said it went off his foot. Actually, right there, went off his head. Good opportunity on the header there for Bailone.
The other thing SAFC's been really good at on set pieces is the recirculation. So if it gets the initial service comes in, gets cleared, the way that they've strung passes together to get another reservice in and keep their big guys in the box.
Abu will put it out wide. Shannon Gomez. Quite fun on that right touchline with Gomez and Perano working together as Gomez will make the turn. Perano trying to force the issue here. And we'll just put it wide.
I love it. Just go be you, Christian. Do your thing. That was great shifty footwork, and when you're feeling that as a player, you beat a couple players, yeah, you might as well have a go at it. Yeah, little nutmeg. Great strike. Just wide of the front post.
Toronto tonight appears in his 51st career match with SAFC. 11 goals in his bank account. It's Maloney. We'll have that one across the touchline. It'll be a deep corner throw here for New Mexico United. Tough spot for New Mexico here, kind of trapped in the corner. Seymour will find Romario Williams. The wee hand and back to Williams. Now with Rivas sprinting forward as it opens up a little bit here for New Mexico. Austin Yearwood on the left side. Justin Portillo. Seymour. And Connor Maloney able to win possession of the ball. It'll be off of Seymour. It'll belong back here to SAFC.
It's really well done by Connor Maloney there. Just touch-tight defense. Recognizes he's trying to push it and run. And I mean, Connor Maloney is pretty fast himself and draws the foul.
Justin Portillo is the 28-year-old who's in his first season with New Mexico United, and he begins tonight tied for 8th in USL Championship with 63 chances created. He's also amongst the league leaders in crossing attempts, so someone who's driven their offense from the midfield, and expect him to have an active role here tonight. So far, SAFC has not allowed much other than the Rivas opportunity at the top of the box here in the first quarter hour. SAFC has forced the issue a couple of times on the other end against Alex Timbakis. SAFC just playing so free-flowing here. As the turn by Williams, he runs into Tainer, and it'll belong back to New Mexico.
Yeah, I'd like Adeniran to get on the ball a little more. A few times he's had it. It's been brief and hasn't been able to keep it. If they can get him in the flow of these passages of play here, SAFC look like they're here to play.
Yeah. And New Mexico, for that matter, is as well, too. You know, it was interesting. SAFC, their last loss was in Indy. And if you go back to that game, Indy 11 really tried to slow play the entire game right from the opening kickoff, just put a lot of guys behind the ball. Even though they were the home side, it's usually a tactic you'll see sometimes by the road team, and especially more so in the second half. You get the sense that teams are trying to maybe slow down the tempo and the pace with SAFC because they play at a level that really nobody else plays at USL, but not seeing that from New Mexico here so far in the early going.
Yeah, just trying to find a way to disrupt the intensity that they press and try to find a way from back to front to the goal fast as possible.
Adeniran volleys that one along. Sam Hamilton with a clearance. Abu. The back post, a little more difficult there for Timbakis as he's got to parry that one aside. Not sure he read it perhaps all that well, but that had some English on it, headed for the upper right corner.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Abu's intention. He tried to whip in a ball, but it was there on frame and got a well-deserved corner out of it.
First corner of the match belongs to SAFC as Abu heads over to that far stick to pick it up. Abu tonight appearing in his 43rd match with SAFC, which is unbelievable to think about it when he was a player on trial in the summer of last year. He was trying to win a job. Now has become such a vital piece of SAFC's midfield attack along with PC.
Yeah, I remember watching him against, it was those Mexican international friendlies, and he was so suave and calm on the ball. You could definitely tell that he was a great player.
Abu now 30 years of age in his 13th pro season, 30 matches of Major League Soccer experience. 3 caps with his native Ghana club. Swartz volleys that one out. SAFC controlling this one here. early in the match. Despite missing two of their top scorers tonight, and Santiago Patino and Justin Dillon, and the 11 goals combined between those two, not looking worse for lack of opportunities here in the early going. Kalen Ryden. Kamiri will settle. Maloney. Nice turn there on Harry Swartz. To Nacho by Loney and back to Connor. He's upended there in the middle by Portillo, who will go into the books here in the 20th minute.
It's very well done by Maloney and by Loney on the same wavelength. Great little 1-2, played in, lay it off, and Connor's cutting back on his favorite right foot. Draws a foul in a good area for Abu to put another dangerous set piece in.
Center referee Brad Jensen will hand out the 6th caution of the season to Justin Portillo.
And as a 6th defensive center midfielder in the 20th minute to get a yellow card, it's not ideal.
Especially when he's such a big engine of their offense and their attack. Is Abu. See how he approaches this one. Too deep of a service there, but still, Tainer was able to get on the end of it. He was just well out of real estate there behind the byline.
Yeah, when he first approached that set piece, Abu, Tainter wasn't even in the frame. He starts from so far back, and I think he runs up as Abu strikes the ball. That's probably why he gets so momentum. But yeah, Abu really didn't give him much of a chance to get that one back across.
It's been a tough first 20 minutes here for Harry Swartz as he sees that one go past his legs. Another throw for SAFC. So Portillo in the books with a caution. And speaking of cautions, Mitchell Tainer comes into tonight's match, Hayden. He's sitting on 10 yellows, which means his next yellow will come with an automatic 2-match suspension for a second card accumulation infraction. Swartz makes the run, service across, and Carter Manley ended it up right in the middle of the frame there for Jordan Farr, was able to bring it down, and he'll get rid of it quickly to Shannon Gomez. But back to Tainer. Sometimes have to almost think now strategically here in the last 5 matches of the season. If you've had a 2-match suspension, perhaps, that's kind of staring you right in the face right now.
Yeah, you definitely have to be strategic. I'm sure that one game for sure he doesn't want to miss is going to be the Sac Republic game when they come here to Toyota Field. So, yeah, I'm sure that the coaching staff and himself have kind of spoke about that. But I don't know if I'm correct, but doesn't it reset?
It does reset. It does not carry over to the postseason.
So if he can just stay clear, then he's good. But I mean, there's 5. That's a hard thing to do for Mitch.
I was going to say, the way we watch Mitchell Tainer play, asking him to go 5 matches without a yellow might be, I don't know. I don't know if I love those odds.
I will say last week's was a very soft yellow and not really in consistency with the other calls made. So hopefully it's an earned one if he does get one.
He's a little heavy on this touch here, and the ball awarded back to Alex Dembakis, but beyond the potential card accumulation suspension, it's been an MVP caliber season for Mitchell Tainer. He's got 5 goals in 27 matches, 13 goals in his SAFC career here. Swartz and Maloney, a little bit of a confrontation. Maloney kind of undercut him a little bit, and that'll be the foul whistle by center referee Brad Jensen. Connor may have taken a knock in the head as well, is what he's arguing. These two sides, which played 4 matches a year ago here, as you see the confrontation. They haven't played since the 23rd of April, so it's been a while. It was a 1-0 win by SAFC in New Mexico, which was the first ever win by SAFC going to Albuquerque. Pay attention to Harry Swartz here. He's outside your picture right now on the right side, trying to potentially leak out here as Connor Maloney gets a word from Brad Jensen. Portillo and Weehan both over the ball here for New Mexico. Weehan wide. Weehan service across, headed out by Kamiri. DC makes the clearance. Yearwood volleys it forward. Weehan gets the ball back in space. He's brushed down by PC, but we play on.
That was a great recovery from PC to get the body on Weehan.
Nice turn by Shannon Gomez. Foul called, but the ball awarded to SAFC as it rides out.
That was a pretty savvy set piece, I will say. They had a guy wide that made a run into the box. It drew a SAFC player back into the box, and then it opened up a lot of real estate for Weehan to get wide and get a really easy and free cross in.
Mexico United with 11 wins, 9 defeats, 9 draws coming into tonight's match. Missed the playoffs a year ago, finishing 5th in the Mountain Division. Lost in penalties to El Paso in the West semis back in 2020 after defeating SAFC in the quarterfinals here at Toyota Field. Their 4th season as an organization since joining USL back in 2019. This is Seymour, former FC Dallas draft pick. For some support, and we'll get it ahead to Harry Swartz. Two converge on Swartz, and San Antonio will keep it in play. Connor Maloney upfield, Adeniran unable to maintain possession.
It's a bit odd, I will say. New Mexico always play good football, but in possession tonight, the movement, there's been a lack thereof. They've been super stagnant. They get caught on one side, and it's making it really easy for SAFC to really lock them in against the sideline and win possession of the ball back.
Right there, and Mario Williams, similar position. It's almost as if they're not expecting the 2-player press coming forward here. Once again, here's PC coming on Williams as he's able to get it off to Portillo, trying to switch the play now to open things up, but again read well by Shannon Gomez. Abu goes to ground. PC to ground as well, and this time the foul called on Sam Hamilton.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate call for Hamilton, but he's trying to play the ball. It's just a little bit too much contact to the back of PC.
SAFC level on the possession so far through nearly a half hour, and even 50% in this match, which does not bode well for New Mexico. The New Mexico club is on average a 51% possession, but for SAFC, who rarely you see them play with the ball, so if they get an opportunity to get the ball as much as they've had here tonight, it's not going to bode well for Sam Hamilton's side here this evening. Zabu again here, the opportunity for the set piece. And SAFC had 2 runners there trying to get on the end of it, but instead it's Yearwood. Rivas keeps it in play. Weehan will volley it forward. will go box to box. There's no runner for SAFC.
The fact that he can kick the ball that far is we've seen that a few times now.
I know the ball's different, but based on the way NFL kickers are going, maybe Jordan's got a side hustle, perhaps. Tough opening week for NFL kickers, to say the least.
It's a lot of pressure.
So a half hour in, SAFC New Mexico 0-0. Any limited fireworks, whether play's been physical. The scoring chances for both sides so far here. Limited for New Mexico to this point. SAFC with the one strong chance on the header from Nacho Bailoni. Found a fortunate welcoming basket of Alex Timbakis. And is off for Mario Williams. We'll go back to SAFC. Williams is the 28-year-old, a former 3rd overall pick in the MLS Super Draft in 2015. He is closing in on 100 career matches in USL Championship, native of Jamaica. It's also a mid-season acquisition. Makes his 10th appearance for New Mexico. You look at their lineup up top, especially some of the players that are on the bench tonight. They have a lot of talented front runners that, I mean, you could spread the wealth when it comes to goal scoring, and you see some of them right there, including Evan Sandoval and Armando Moreno there in the corner. And that doesn't include Nico Brett, who's been dealing with some injury issues. He's missed the last 4 matches, but Brett, in fact, leads the club with 7 goals. And he was signed in the offseason after scoring 27 goals in 2 seasons playing with Birmingham Legion over 48 matches. So they have just continued to add to what is already a treasure trove of great strikers on this New Mexico United squad.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see more of them tonight.
One thing for SAFC to kind of keep in the back of their head here as Shannon Gomez gets forward, trying to work there with Christian Perano, is that SAFC's got another match coming up on Tuesday night. They're going to take on Colorado Springs. DC whips that ball in, and it's passed by Loney and settles down to Timbakis. That is the makeup match against Colorado Springs that was originally supposed to be played on the 21st of May, but was postponed because of COVID-19 related reasons. DC, Portillo commits the foul, already sitting on a yellow here in this first half.
Yeah, he's got to be smart. You don't want to get caught with a foul using your hands again. Looks like he just puts it across PC's face or upper body. Yeah.
Swartz is the ball away from Maloney. Connor commits the foul. Swartz not happy with the call because he was ready to run off to the races there at a wide open touch line up that right side of the field.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for New Mexico United. Advantage wasn't played there. He was able to beat Connor Maloney, but premature whistle brought him back.
So now Portillo. Maloney off to Tainer, and now Abu. Seymour directs it out. It's interesting how much they've worked the right side of the field, New Mexico, here tonight. I mean, they really have barely even tracked off to the left side. And I just have a feeling, you know, trying to win one-on-one battles against Connor Maloney and Mitchell Tainer may not be the best strategy if you're Zach Prince in New Mexico.
Yeah, I would agree. At least even it out. But I feel like the fans on this side of the stadium have gotten involved a lot, throwing the ball back.
And perhaps the fans that you see right there sitting just below us, they're getting the spoils here in the first half, but the opposite side, that the way the match is going, will enjoy the action in the second half. But yeah, it's very odd tonight, just continuing to brush up this right touchline for New Mexico, just really trying to force the issue against Maloney and Tainter here. Seymour will take the throw. Barely mentioned Austin Yearwood tonight. Barely mentioned Sergio Rivas there in the middle.
Well, you did mention Seymour's amount of crosses and his ability to get high and create chances for the team. You know, what are Yearwood's numbers looking like? That could be a big reason why those numbers are pretty stellar.
And in fairness for Yearwood, it's only his 12th appearance of the season. He's been dealing with a little bit of injury issue, but additionally has been a stalwart on the left side for New Mexico over the years. Perano settle this one in the corner of the box. Carter Manley. Gomez out wide. Rivas defending him. A little bit too much there on the dribble with Shannon Gomez, although dangerous as it's back inside the area, and a giveaway by New Mexico. Abu returns to PC. Perano gets a step by Loney. Went out of a little room. A little cheeky ball trying to find Denner in there at the top of the 6-yard box. Doesn't come through, but not a bad idea from Nacho.
It's great decisive 1-2 touch passing from SAFC. They look extremely sharp on the ball tonight.
Perano's attempt is blocked and lands back to Timbakis. It was in 2019 that Christian Perano had a 2-goal night in a 5-0 victory over New Mexico United here at home back on the 5th of May. He was all over the field that night. Some success for Christian in his career against New Mexico. The only player who scored in the last match between these sides is not on the field tonight, and that was Justin Dillon, who had the lone goal for SAFC in the match back on the 23rd of April. How was Dillon's absence, in your opinion, affected SAFC?
Yeah, you see the shoe there. PC stepped off. But I think, we know Dillon is, one, he's a goal scorer, and two, he's a creator. So I think just really between the midfield and the front runners, the strikers, I call them front runners, seeing more of a disconnect, I would say. I wouldn't say that it's disrupt their play, but he's just kind of that connector, and he's like the glue there. And some games he picks he's going to score, and some games he picks he's going to set other people up. You know, I think likes of a Dennerin are maybe missing that kind of service, or those balls that, you know, Justin Dillon is really looking to get to him.
Will Seymour will readjust, put his shoe back on, tie them out of the laces. Upcoming schedule for SAFC: 5 more matches after this one here tonight, and it's a busy week for Alan Marcina's side. As again, they'll play Colorado Springs Tuesday night here at home, and then complete the 4-match homestand next Saturday. Should be a good one against Sacramento Republic, and then their final 2 road matches, both against Eastern Conference sides. They'll go to Pittsburgh, and then the following Sunday in Birmingham, and then the regular season home finale will be on the 15th of October against Orange County SC, and our final telecast on Bally Sports comes up on Tuesday night. Seymour. As it defended away from him.
You just see New Mexico United, they're on the ball, and they've got to get by 2 or 3 defenders every time, either on the dribble or by one guy to just get a pass off. SAFC have done a really good job in their defensive half.
Portillo with a cross. Carter Manley make the full clearance. That allows the chance there for Hamilton, but his bid goes wide. SAFC, which is playing their 29th match of the season, and no surprise, Hayden, it's their 29th different starting 11, which is, again, that fact alone just amazes me for a club that has 20 wins this year.
Yeah, I think we talk about it. Just the buy-in from each player of their role, and when they get called upon, they, you know, find a way to deliver and perform. It's a great problem to have as a coach. Maybe sometimes a frustrating thing as a player. You always want to play, but it goes back to the buy-in. If you bought into it as a full team, you understand, you know, you're one player of a bigger picture. And it helps too. You got a game on Tuesday as well. You know, you can rest some legs and also feel like you're not dropping the level.
And to Alan Marcina's credit, there is only one change from the lineup from last Saturday, and that's Jasser Kamiri back in the 11 tonight. And the only reason he missed Saturday's game against San Diego Loyal was because of a card accumulation suspension. So perhaps, had it not been for that, we could have seen 2 consecutive matches of the same starting lineup for SAFC. Instead, it was Elliot Collier who got the start last Saturday, who's sitting tonight, with Jasser able to get back in and flank Carter Mantley back out to more of an outside position. There's Jasser.
Are you sure it was card accumulation, or was he at the barber?
He might have done both.
Or he did that so it'd help him not get more cards. He looks unfamiliar.
Did he not join you up in the broadcast booth on Saturday?
No, he did not.
He did not. Okay.
He had to be getting the hair done.
All right.
I mean, it looks great.
The 25-year-old making his 35th appearance with SAFC. Off of Tainer, back here to New Mexico as we come up on halftime. Seymour still working on that right side of the field. Maloney. Not a ton of action, needless to say, here in this first 45.
No, it's all in the middle of the park. Just challenges, combination plays, but no true chances on goal for either team.
Barano stops, Barano starts. Out wide to Shannon Gomez. Back to Parano. Doesn't like his options. He'll hand it off to Carter Manley. Manley makes the run. Parano will get it back from Gomez. He's trapped there in the corner. He's able to work it free back to Carter Manley. Parano trying to dribble out of a crowd. Unsuccessful this time, but forces New Mexico into a clearance out of play and will result in an SAFC throw.
They're just trying to keep it in that corner to get those fans
really.
involved.
I mean, because if you're over in 122 tonight, they got a great crowd sitting in there, almost filled right to the top in section 122. You can see it right there in the middle of your screen. So yeah, just trying to give that group a little action over there. Once again, SAFC will take the throw. Some of the great SAFC fans sitting over there. 122, along with the rest of them at Toyota Field. They're hoping tonight's the night. SAFC can clinch the top of the table in the West. They do that with a win, taking all 3 points against New Mexico and then getting some help. As both San Diego and Colorado Springs would have to drop points for SAFC to officially be crowned Western Conference regular season champions. But with an 11-point lead over San Diego Loyal, it's more a matter of when rather than if here over these final 5 weeks of the regular season. Tainer. Manley, Kamiri, and Tainer. See SAFC dribble out of the back very often. There's Carter Manley. Now really you see New Mexico 9 back behind the ball, almost 10 back behind the ball here from the middle of the field, trying to really hem SAFC in, as I think New Mexico's case, just trying to avoid any mistakes here before halftime.
Yeah, it looks like they're sitting off just a little bit. A lot of time for the center backs of SAFC to pick out a pass. And see Dinner in again, just a little bit of a mistouch. He hasn't really found himself in this game like we know what he can do.
Seymour, heavy on that touch as he concedes to PC. A little bit of a counter opportunity for San Antonio. Nice flick there by Adeniran. Lands to Pirano. And that's parried away by Timbakis.
Say that there, and then he makes a world-class flick on to Pirano to create a great chance. Pirano wants to cut in on his favorite left foot, and we talk about it all the time. Take a strike, even if you have a defender in front of you. Goes through Yearwood's legs, and great save at the end of the day.
Good-looking shot there by Pirano. He's had a couple opportunities here in the first half, and gives San Antonio their second corner here this first half. Bending ball to the near post, but rising there for the clearance was Yearwood. Kamiri, rare opportunity getting forward for him, and he loses the ball trying to maintain on the corner. Not just 1 minute of added time here at the end of the first half.
Lost his footing there. That's what I was talking about earlier. They're really good at that recirculation. That was a center back to a center back to recreate something off of an initial corner kick.
Yeah, didn't even allow Jasper the opportunity to run back, stay up front, and a chance to play a little forward there for just a moment.
Yeah, it's almost like the tall guys. Let's switch with the shorter guys. You got PC and Connor and Abu in the back staying for safety, and then the big guys up top ready to win, you know, heading challenges and aerial duels.
Timbakis will likely kill the final seconds of this opening half. It'll take us to a 0-0 line at the 45 mark here, and he won't even get the chance to get rid of that. So we are 0-0 at the half. Christian Pirano the last good chance. Nacho Bailoni with an opportunity on a header, but other than that, pretty clean game here tonight between San Antonio and New Mexico. We're 0-0 in a battle of two of the Western Conference playoff hopefuls. More to come. Our halftime here on Bally Sports.
Jackpot for tonight's match. To purchase your ticket, visit a 50/50 raffle representative nearest you. Halftime at Toyota Field, 0-0. San Antonio FC and New Mexico United.
We play our final Saturday night here in the summer of 2022. We say hello once again from the broadcast booth with Hayden Partain. I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us. And as we turn from the summer to the fall, Hayden, we turn our attention, of course, to the race for the playoffs in USL Championship. And San Antonio FC has an opportunity tonight to lock up a #1 seed in the Western Conference and a first-round playoff bye, perhaps. The USL Championship playoffs are going to get underway the week of the 17th in October, and a look at the standings right now in the Western Conference has SAFC with that 11-point lead over San Diego. And it's a little more dicey for New Mexico right now, trying to perhaps fend off Rio Grande Valley and LA Galaxy 2, trying to get inside the playoff line there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see from 4 to 7 that things are really tight. They're going to be competing for spots, and even LA Galaxy 2 and RGV as well. But SAFC, I always make note of it. They have a game in hand here, but really they're just going to want to get that first round bye. They've already secured the first home game or first playoff game that they have at home. That and then ultimately getting #1 overall would be great. Every playoff game you play could potentially be here at Toyota Field.
And there's your playoff structure. The top 7 in each conference will qualify, and as we mentioned, first round will deliver a bye to the top seed, which is looking like it'll be SAFC. So if the playoffs were to begin today, New Mexico would be playing Colorado Springs in that first round playoff match. San Diego would be taking on El Paso, and then you would have Sacramento Republic sitting in that #4 spot right now too. So it's exciting time when it comes to the USL Championship playoffs. There's just some great matches, and I mean, we've seen some crazy outcomes when you get to the postseason, so nothing's taken for granted. That is why that #1 seed becomes oh so important to a team like SAFC, who could try to perhaps avoid that opening round playoff upset, so to speak, and get forward going on. So we'll see what happens. Playoffs still a couple of weeks away. We got regular season matches still to decide, including a second half of this one. 0-0 at the half here on Bally Sports. Halftime at Toyota Field, 0-0 here in week 28 of USL Championship. San Antonio FC and New Mexico United. As we say hello once again from the broadcast booth, Hayden Partain, Dan Weiss with you here this evening. All right, Hayden, your thoughts on that first half? I mean, these clubs know each other so well going back over the last couple of seasons that sometimes I'm not surprised when you see a little bit of a chess match here in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's been a pretty evenly played match. Most of it's been in the middle of the park, to be honest. It's been good passage of play from both teams and a lot of duels, really, that we've seen. One yellow card.
Yep.
I'm surprised there's not more. But SAFC's had more chances, not many chances, but I think Christian Parano is trying to find a way to score a goal.
Certainly is, as we take a look at the highlights from this one here. And it was early in the match, and how they continue to leave Mitchell Tainer uncovered. The lone chance came for New Mexico was Sergio Rivas getting a good opportunity on target that was parried away by Jordan Farr. And there's Nacho Bailoni with that great header opportunity. That might have been SAFC's best chance of the half.
Yeah, I think so. I think the goalkeeper is just fortunate to be in the right place. I would say it's a missed cross, but Abu can maybe correct me on that. It's a great save at the end of the day.
And Tainer's going to run everything down, even if it's out of play, as he goes into the boards there and gives up on any ball, does Mitchell. That one doesn't find a crowd, but then the last opportunity here came on a giveaway. San Antonio FC was able to work some magic through, and finally Christian Parano was able to get a chance here just before halftime, and a little flick on by Adeniran. Great chance there.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers here as we come back on camera for you. We'll take a look at the first half stats right now, and you'll see that from the first half, pretty even, as Hayden was kind of alluding to. Almost 50-50 on possession. In fact, SAFC with the lead in possession, but not a tremendous amount of shots. Not a tremendous, even fewer shots on target between the two sides.
Right. The only things I would really look at is shots on target. You know, obviously SAFC's leading there, and then fouls, because there's a lot of chances that SAFC's gotten to create off of set pieces. So New Mexico United going in the second half maybe need to be smart about where they make fouls.
And I guess the question, if you're New Mexico, is will they continue the strategy, kind of what they employed, really just attacking that right side of the touchline of the first half, really ignored the entire left side of the field. It didn't have a lot of success. I'm curious if their tactics changed perhaps in the second half.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that as well. SAFC's, it's really predictable. It's making it easy for them to just lock them in on one side. So, yeah, I'd like to see Austin Yearwood get some crosses in as well.
We'll take a break. We'll take a look at scores from around the rest of USL Championship here in week 28. We're still looking for the first goal here tonight on Bally Sports. Scoreless at the half here at Toyota Field as we take a look around the rest of USL Championship tonight in Week 28. Big win by Hartford over Las Vegas Lights this evening. Puts a little bit of dent in Las Vegas's playoff hopes. Rio Grande Valley's trying to make another late season push to get into the playoffs, and they've got a 1-0 lead tonight at home over Colorado Springs. And later on, we'll be watching San Diego hosting Phoenix Rising, and Sacramento at home tomorrow taking on Orange County is a critical match to watch as they're coming up on SAFC's schedule as well. The push to the playoffs is underway, and it'll be an exciting time across USL Championship. Second half of this match is coming up on the other side here on Bally Sports. San Antonio FC Soccer on Bally Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. In the second half, here at Toyota Field, 0-0 SAFC and New Mexico United is set for the second half kickoff. And for SAFC, their opportunity to clinch the top of the table in the Western Conference. New Mexico United just trying to continue to gain points. Have not come up with any in their last 3 matches. We've made a little bit of a personnel change in their approach tonight. No changes to start the second half, but leaving Devin Sandoval, Kavan Frater, and Amando Moreno on the bench here, who likely all figure to have some impact, you would think, in this match going forward in the second half. And to me, that's maybe the one thing if I'm SAFC I'm a little bit concerned about, is you're going to have 3 guys with pretty fresh legs that are going to come on that can do some damage.
Yeah, the defense are going to have to make sure if those changes are made, that they're communicating and sorting out what other things they need to cover that are different than what's going on now.
Along with Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here on Bally Sports. It was a well-played first half. There just wasn't a tremendous amount of chances for either side. Just the one for New Mexico, as Jordan Farr didn't really have to do much, and Buxton Backus certainly was a little bit busier, but SAFC was unable to put one behind him. Shannon Gomez.
That's where they've been doing so well. Just winning those second balls, and Boo finds a way to just get that touch to Gomez.
Morano just trying to dribble through, and apparently didn't keep possession on the touchline. It did go off his hand. It went off his hand, they're going to say. Again, switch the play over to Will Seymour. Connor Maloney right up in his grill. Sam Hamilton just directs it out.
Hey, we called it. Those fans are going to get involved in the second half.
They're excited. They're smiling. They're saying, we haven't seen anything over here all night. Abu. Maloney. Adeniran. Very quiet, Hayden, to your point. The first half just hasn't made his impact in the match really so far.
usually every time he's getting the ball, I think I'm on the edge of my seat.
Gomez trapped in the corner to lose possession. Sam comes into tonight, 9 goals in his 16 matches with SAFC. His strike rate coming into tonight's match, 1 goal every 141 minutes, the way he's been going right now. Had both goals in the victory at Oakland Roots a couple of Saturdays ago. And that was after having not scored in 4 matches, which got us a little concerned up here. But rectified that rather quickly. Gomez, Pirano. There's a Denner in, top of the box, and there's the turn, but I think just for him, getting a shot off probably feels good here to start the second half.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a good spot. He loves to bend that ball back post, gets on that half turn from the pass from Pirano, and yeah, it just doesn't come off. But the one thing I'll say is, although it hasn't been, you know, an amazing night from Sam Denner, he still is putting in a shift. He's still doing the things that he needs to do on the defensive end, and he still has strung a few passes together, and one led to a Pirano chance. So although it might not be as fun for him, he's still doing the little things right, and that goes a long way for players that go from good to great. Is finding a way when everything's not perfect to still perform.
And I think one thing I love about this club is that everyone shares in the accolades. There's no one player that really this club is built on. They are built on not just the 11 on the field, but the 6 or 7 that are on the bench that then come in later on in the game and make their impact. And I think from a depth standpoint, from having players in the right roles, I don't think SAFC has had a better opportunity and alignment in their lineup going into October than they have, like they've had this season.
I would completely agree.
Bailoni committing the foul there. Nacho Bailoni, who began his second stint with SAFC primarily as a guy who was playing 15, 20 minutes off the bench, kind of as a late fresh of energy, some fresh legs, and now he's pressed into a starting role in the absence of guys like Dylan and Patino, and capitalized last Saturday night with the game's only goal. Here we had another one here tonight. And speaking of players up top, SAFC, in case you missed the news yesterday, added yet another striker as Jack Lynn, who was the 18th overall pick by Orlando City of Major League Soccer in this past spring's MLS Super Draft, was sent on loan from Orlando City to SAFC, where he will finish the year here in San Antonio. And this was a player who had 15 goals in 18 matches playing for Orlando City B in MLS Next Pro.
I don't care what level you're playing at, that is a great stat. I mean, you're basically scoring a goal a game. You're a dangerous front runner. You're finding ways to get in front of goal, create chances, and then just really put them in the back of the net. It'd be great to see him feature in a game soon, hopefully tonight.
Yeah, there is Jack. You see the numbers on him. Played his collegiate soccer in Notre Dame. He's a native of St. Louis. He had 31 goals for the Fighting Irish over his 4-year collegiate career. And talking with Alan Marcini yesterday, he said his goal is to get Jack into the game for a 10 to 15-minute run. He's in game shape. He's been playing. It's not as if he's been sitting around not playing. Case for Orlando City, they felt it was an opportunity to get him some more competitive minutes here, especially with the way that SAFC is going here. It's going to be a foul on Connor Maloney, who tried to draw a foul himself. There was a little bit of contact from Will Seymour that could have been called on a push-off on Seymour that was let go. They'll get Maloney on the retaliatory as Seymour is able to draw the foul.
It's good defending at the end of the day from Seymour.
There's the push-off.
Yeah, puts his body off, and then again, I talk about it every game. Just when you have your back to the defender trying to get the ball, and the ball's in near possession, you really can feel any sort of physical touch or anything, and just go down. Most refs are going to call it. Looks like Pirano's down. Maybe lost his breath.
Yeah, it looked like he got, the way he's holding his chest, looks like he got the wind knocked out of him.
I wonder if there was something off the ball, maybe collided with a player trying to move into position or something.
Well, the good news about Pirano is that this week in training he was nursing a little bit of a lower body injury. They weren't sure whether he was actually going to be able to go tonight, and they were hopeful that that wasn't going to creep up in the first quarter hour of the match. Clearly it didn't, so positive sign for Pirano that what's been nagging him this week is not kept him off the pitch, because he's arguably been the most dynamic player this evening here for SAFC. Pirano will step off here for a moment before he's waved back on by the referee. As SAFC will have the opportunity on the throw. Bailone, the giveaway. Tainer, upfield, Maloney. Good build up through the middle of the park. PC off his back foot, Maloney. Finds Pirano, who's way back on, it's Bailone! He's onside! He puts it in! Nacho Bailone for the second consecutive week in a starting role. Finds the back of the net, and SAFC has the opening goal in the 54th minute.
What a fantastic play. Switching the ball first, a little flick from PC, and great touch from Pirano to give it to Bailone. He scared me there a little bit not to take the shot with his right foot, but he had enough time to put it on his favorite left and just place it back post. He was held on by what looked like the right center back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Barely by the skin of his teeth, but I think the referee made the right call to keep the flag down there.
Yeah, I think the New Mexico defense, they were trying to contest it, but they didn't realize their defensive line was broken. They weren't all on the same line.
So that's Bailone's fourth goal in the 54th minute. Has SAFC up 1. And in all of their 18 previous matches, when SAFC has scored first, they have won all of them.
Now Pirano has his second assist. That's exactly what you want for someone coming in midway through the season.
Adeniran trying to add a second. Adeniran across the face, but only Rivas there on the other end to pick it up.
It was almost as if that goal gave Adeniran some energy. Saw himself there again, taking on and step overs and dribbling past players.
And so now the front runners for New Mexico are going to start to get warmed up real quick here. Moreno already standing up and making some moves on the bench there, trying to stretch out. Freitas right there next to him. My guess is Zach Prince doesn't wait much longer than the 1 hour mark to get those players in, give them a full half hour to try to find the equalizer for New Mexico. But it goes back to the point I was just making a moment ago, Hayden, where there is no one player who hogs the accolades on this team, and that's Bailone once again, pressed into a starting role for the second consecutive week. And once again, it's Bailone who finds the back of the net here first to give SAFC the lead.
We talked about depth. When they get called upon, they find a way to deliver, and they don't depend on one player to run the show, like you said. So one striker maybe have an off night, the other one steps up.
That certainly will be a welcoming development, as it's been all year for Alan Marcina, but particularly as SAFC pushes forward into the postseason. The switch to Seymour. The run by Romario Williams, who's had very little service here tonight. Portillo out wide. Harry Swartz.
That was a fantastic touch.
Swartz loses his footing, concedes. The three players collapse back on the ball for New Mexico. They win it, but the process commit a foul against Nacho Bailoni, who goes to ground.
That's one thing too. Bailoni is so good at protecting the ball, either drawing the foul or waiting for reinforcements to get near him, for him to just make a simple pass and lay off and make a run in behind.
So Bailoni, his 4th of the season and his 7th goal with SAFC. And now 33 career matches for the red and black. 17th appearance for Bailoni, and as mentioned, his 2nd consecutive start. And again, SAFC, a win tonight, taking all 3 points, and a failure to win by Colorado Springs and San Diego Loyal would mean SAFC clinches the top of the table in the West. And RGV in the second half with a 1-0 lead over Colorado Springs at HEB Park down in Edinburgh. San Diego hosting Phoenix Rising later on this evening. Pirano. Abu into the box and headed out. Tainer. Pushed away from him by Hamilton. A touch by Williams beyond Hamilton, and a throwback to San Antonio. It's not a done deal just yet. Still a few matches remaining, but how odd will it be to see a Western Conference playoff bracket that does not include Phoenix Rising?
That would be very strange.
Pirano from Adeniran. Inside the box, will dribble out. Makes the turn back around there. Across the face, a goal is defended away by Seymour. Suahe. Headed away there by Kamiri. Phoenix Rising begins the night just 1 point ahead of Orange County from the bottom of the Western Conference table. Live playoff table right now, they are 7 points back of RGV for the final playoff spot of the Western Conference with 6 matches remaining. You never say never, but those are low odds right now for Juan Guerra's club after taking over mid-season following the mutual departure of Rick Shantz in Phoenix.
They'll basically have to win out. It's a tough thing to do, especially in this league, especially at this time of the season too, when teams are trying to find form and fight for a home seed in playoffs.
Here's Yearwood. Kalen Ryden. Portillo really hasn't made much of an impact himself tonight in this match. Again, the repressure of SAFC really just not allowing New Mexico to do much of anything here. Suahe upfield. Here's Romario Williams now, a little bit of space to work with. We'll push it out wide for Weehan. Chris Weehan running, edge of the box. Clears it over to Yearwood. Yearwood back into the top of the 6 is defended out there by the slide tackle of PC.
That's really well defended. Looked like Weehan was going to cut back and try to take a shot on goal. Found Yearwood, but just too many SAFC bodies crashing that box.
So first substitutions are in fact going to come for San Antonio rather than for New Mexico, as Christian Pirano is going to come off, Elliot Collier is going to come on, and the aforementioned Jack Lynn is going to get his first minutes with San Antonio here. He'll take out the goal scorer Nacho Bailoni. So Collier is on for the 18th time this season, and this is the SAFC debut for the 22-year-old Jack Lynn. Again, was selected 18th overall by Orlando City in the 2022 MLS Super Draft. Yearwood. Portillo will switch the play. Seymour. Back into the middle of the field. And now Yearwood getting some attention here on the left side. Drives a good ball into space. It's defended out. I'll give New Mexico, I believe, their first corner of the match here.
It was a really, really good delivered ball from Yearwood in a dangerous area.
Will be a corner for New Mexico, and will be their first of the evening here in the 63rd minute. Rivas to the back post, where only Jordan Farr is there to settle under the ball.
Triggered the Jordan Farr Baby Shark song.
I'm sure they would love to continue that more tonight. Just really hasn't had much opportunity to handle the ball this evening. Yearwood making the turn there on Jack Lynn.
I had one fan, season ticket holder from the beginning, Ben Hester. You can see there, he's leading it. I think the Crocketeers got credit for that song last weekend, and he wasn't too happy about it. So, got to give him a call out. They put Jordan Farr's face on a shark. That's amazing.
Well, I think he's making sure that everybody knows that's him behind the Jordan Farr chant. Carter Manley. Miscommunication with Shannon Gomez. Shannon back on the ball, but a loose possession. And Kevon Frater getting final instructions before he'll come on to the match. Come on for Romario Williams here in the 65th minute. Kevon Frater has had such an illustrious career in USL Championship. 31 goals in 104 USL matches for the 27-year-old from Portmore, Jamaica. Had 14 goals in New Mexico's inaugural season back in 2019. Has added one since returning. This is his 6th appearance. He's sitting on 49 goals for his career. Harry Swartz, heavy on the touch. Tainer, back to Farr. Swartz will get back in an onside position. Frater will get to the ball for his first touch. It's a low shot on target there. Farr will come over to make the save. Not sure whether Frater was just either testing Farr or perhaps looking for a back runner. Jordan wasn't going to take any chances in that instance. Another throw here for New Mexico as the Jordan Farr chants continue.
That's going to be stuck in my head tonight.
Crowds have certainly gotten a lot livelier here at Toyota Field as the temperatures have cooled. It's always fun playing soccer here late into September and into October when you've got a team like the quality of San Antonio FC is heading to the postseason. Yearwood with the service, flicked on and in! And who else? Chris Weehan, the SAFC killer himself, delivers the equalizer in the 67th minute.
I said this at halftime. Yearwood can hit crosses in as well. I'm sure that they might change it up, and Weehan's kind of been not involved all night, but he's a goal scorer at heart. He finds a way to get on the end of this, and is a great flick, redirection from the ball from Yearwood, and Farr just can't make the save.
It's Weehan's 49th career goal in USL play. This tonight is 145th USL Championship match. It is his 34th career goal with New Mexico, which is United's all-time leader. That man's had way too many happy smiles here at Toyota Field over the last 3 years.
Big-time goals. He finds a way to get it done, and like I said, he hasn't had many touches or service, and We definitely capitalized on that one. We've got a ball game here now.
1-1 here in the 68th minute. Good response for New Mexico United after conceding the opening goal. And again, San Antonio FC, every time they have scored the opening goal this season, they have won. 18 times scoring first, 18 wins. And so we'll see the response for Alan Marcina's side. Here's Collier on a quick reset, and Elliott unable to settle the ball as he gained possession inside the box. The question is now, does the game stay the same for New Mexico now that they've leveled, or do they continue to try to stretch San Antonio out here and go for the go-ahead goal?
I think given the circumstances of them in the table and the points that are up for grabs, I think they've got to go for a goal. I think we could see some more subs on the attacking end from them, and I know for sure SAFC, they're going to want to get these 3 points simply because they're at home and that first overall seed is on the line.
It's Weehan's third career goal here at Toyota Field against San Antonio FC. The big one, of course, in the postseason back in 2020, but he had the winner last year here as well, back on the 25th of September, what was a 1-0 victory for New Mexico United against SAFC. I'll be honest, he's the one guy I do not want to see in the playoffs. Foul to be whistled here. And I believe Carter Manley's going to go into the books for the challenge against Kavan Frater. He will here in the 70th minute.
Carter Manley just stepped across. Frater's trying to push the ball by and run around, and you can see he just puts his body across, and it is a foul. I think maybe because of the positioning of where Frater would have excelled to is why the yellow card was presented.
Carter Manley hitting a milestone himself here tonight. This is his 100th career match for the 26-year-old. It was a former 21st overall pick by Minnesota United back in 2018. The game's starting to get a little more chippy. Really didn't have this kind of feel to it in the first half. That's picked up after the 2 goals have been scored. This ball balloons to the back post. How about the acrobatics of Jordan Farr? He's just going to out-jump everyone to get to the ball.
Yeah, I wonder why we didn't see this passion and chippiness from the beginning whistle.
Clubs was played 4 times last year in the realigned divisional alignment in USL Championship, where you really kind of stayed within your group. Didn't play much outside the group last season as Collier makes the move. There's a Dennerin. Can he make the turn onto his left? It's well defended by New Mexico. And as mentioned, these sides haven't seen each other since April, so they've gone the entire summer without playing one another, and it just appeared that that lack of familiarity really dominated things in the first 45 minutes, but oh, how quickly that can change. Yearwood bounces up from the tackle of Adenner, and that's a hard challenge from Sam, and that's going to put him in the books here in the 71st minute.
Yeah, it was a bit unnecessary. I think a little frustration from Adenner not to win possession of the ball a little quicker, but just a slide tackle from behind it can be extremely dangerous to players.
Brad Jensen went right to his pocket to pull the caution on Adennerin, who goes into the books for the 3rd time this season. And yeah, hard sweep with the left as he brings down Yearwood.
Yeah, I don't think there was any real malice in it. He tried to slide around and get the ball, and Yearwood had repositioned the ball on the other side of his body, so he went through the back of him.
Weehan's goal is his 7th this season. That ties him with Nico Brett for the team lead in New Mexico United. And that has this match leveled here for the final 20 minutes, 1-1. I think that, you know, we really looked forward to kind of these 4 matches on this homestand to kind of be a dress rehearsal for San Antonio heading into the playoffs, and it took care of business here as Kamiri gets fouled there upfield. I don't know if he took a stomp from Kevon Frater.
Looks like he's going to go over and communicate with the linesman, see if he saw anything that was off the ball. It looked like we had him in the frame at the moment it happened,
yeah.
Just their upper bodies, though.
Just didn't see what happened. Didn't look like anything from the upper body that Kevon Frater did. That Jasser Kamiri went down immediately. Kamiri, I mean, I'm guessing Frater probably just stepped on him. Based on the reaction by Kamiri,
Right.
Whether it was intentional or not, it's going to be up to the assistant if he even saw it over there on the far touchline.
It's a pretty long conversation they're having. It's either you saw it or you didn't see it.
Brad Jensen's got his word. He's going to give a yellow to Frater here.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously can't see anything that happened there, but we also can't see where their feet are.
You can see right here,
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a telestrator, but to the far right of your screen, there was just the contact of Frater. And even that's very hard to see, obviously. Again, look at the very far right of your screen where Kamiri is. We'll show you again.
Yeah, he just steps on his right foot there with his heel.
And even that looks, it's so hard to see any hard stomp, per se, from Frater.
Right.
That's so difficult. And to a degree, I understand perhaps Frater's frustration and Prince's frustration there on the call. Unfortunate bad news for SAFC is that it's not going to bring the ball where the foul was committed. Obviously, would have been in a much more advantageous position.
You can just see this battle now for the rest of the remainder of the game.
It's Frater's 4th yellow of the season, but you're right, something to keep an eye on here. San Antonio will finally get possession after New Mexico had that set piece.
Don't players know that, you know, there's so many cameras now. You can't get away with things off the ball. Our goal cam picked that up.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Rivas off his shoulder, says the referee. Alan Marcina doesn't like that call. Portillo back to Tambakis. I'll tell you what, we're going to get 15 minutes of some pretty physical soccer here. Frater on the collision there from Kamiri. And again, whether you want to cite perhaps some intent on that, we'll leave that up to the viewer.
I mean, we could be biased because of what shirt we wear, but at the end of the day, I think that's not a foul. He wins the ball, and Frater just goes down and hunches over. They both jump straight up. There was no momentum going forward. Again, if you feel any contact from your back, you can go down suddenly and make it look a lot worse than what it was. But it looked like a really well won challenge by Kamiri in my eyes.
Feels a little like a makeup call.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's in the middle of the park. It's not that big a deal. But I think they're trying to get Kamiri a yellow here. The haircut's paid off for him so far.
Well, makes him more noticeable. If you're just joining us, we have this wonderfully well-played clean match for the first 45, 50 minutes here tonight. And then SAFC gets on the board. Nacho Bailone's goal in the 54th minute is second in as many weeks to give SAFC the lead. But quick counter by New Mexico United just 13 minutes later. It's Chris Weehan. Who else for New Mexico? Getting his third goal at Toyota Field. 67th minute, and we'll get a foul whistled here on Harry Swartz. That'll return the ball to SAFC. That goal by Weehan in the 67th minute has leveled the match at 1 apiece, and now Tainer and Swartz with words.
You gotta love it.
Rivas wins the battle against Gomez. Weehan. Back to Rivas. Off of Shannon Gomez. Possession maintained by New Mexico United. The goal by Weehan seems to have allowed Zach Prince to hold off perhaps on bringing a guy like Moreno in or Sandoval just a little bit longer. Maybe wants to see with a better defensive club if he can continue to hold SAFC off the board. As Frater gets loose. Trying to make the turn here on Carter Manley. 3 collide on Frater. And that's going to be a corner, I would believe. Well, they're going to give it back to Jordan Farr. They're going to give it back to Jordan Farr. Okay.
It almost looked like he was going to hit the corner flag and just stay in bounds. We're in play. I think my basketball's coming out. We're getting ready for the NBA season.
Abu. Tainer. Kamiri. Doesn't get much there on that delivery upfield. Connor Maloney is down over on the far side. He'll get back up, though, hobbling a little bit as he rejoins the play. Sam Hamilton drives one in. Weehan off his back heel. Nobody there in a yellow kit to pick it up on the opposite side. And the challenge by Yearwood on Jack Lynn. New Mexico. Rivas has got some space. He'll take another dribble. Rivas. Portillo. Frater up top. Weehan's trying to find this ball along with Harry Swartz. And it's pushed out by San Antonio. Collier.
I don't understand the argument sometimes with calls. I mean, it's a clear foul. It just completely obstructed the player on a full run, didn't get any of the ball, and there's an argument about it.
Sam Hamilton into the books in the 81st minute is the third New Mexico player to receive a caution along with Portillo and Frater. Denerin and Carter Manley sitting on yellows for SAFC. This ball falls down to Timbakis. He'll play it out wide here. Austin Yearwood. Frater making the run. Kamiri steps in front of him. Nearly drives it up to where we are.
Kamiri's so good at that, at stepping in front and winning those balls that are played in. Really all of the back line of SAFC are good at that.
Appears to be something wrong with the ball because a new ball was brought in, allows everyone to get a sip of water real quickly. Not entirely sure what was wrong with the ball there. But the fourth official took the ball and just handed it off to the New Mexico bench.
I have no idea. Strange.
Now, everybody seems to be getting a quick reset here.
We've got the trainer on the fields. I don't really know what's going on right now.
It almost just feels like a timeout, if anything. Very bizarre here, and this started with where the ball was basically just handed off to the bench by the fourth official. Okay, so there's Rivas. He's going to pick up the ball. Fourth official takes it from Rivas. Looked like Yearwood was going to come and take the throw, and then fourth official just, I don't know what he's, I'm guessing there's something on the ball, maybe?
I wonder if it's a New Mexico ball, so it's a USL Championship ball,
okay.
But it's not like the match ball for the game tonight. There's a set of balls that are specifically for that.
And so now we've got more commotion after New Mexico took the throw in. It looked like that a yellow to Harry Swartz in the 84th minute. And of course, that was away from the play, and we didn't see the commotion there.
I bet what he did was re-enter the field before being asked on, and the reason the ref does that is to make sure that I don't think it would have happened there, but you want to make sure the team doesn't get a player in a position, like an advantageous position, that would affect the play.
Just all sorts of shenanigans going on here in the last few minutes. What's been a much more tasty second half, to say the least, at Toyota Field. Jack Lynn, he'll boot this ball forward.
You're killing me.
San Antonio FC fans trying to propel the home side on. Beyond all the accolades that San Antonio FC still has at their disposal, there also is a club sitting on 97 career wins as a franchise. 6 matches remaining, trying to get to 100 career victories. Hoping to do that before the end of the season. Yearwood. Swartz. He's flanked out on the left side now after starting on the right in this match. Kalen Ryden switching the play. Will Seymour. Kavan Frater. Seymour as Frater. A run into the box of the collision there, and that actually impedes Frater's run. But it's Portillo, gives it a go, and that's blocked inside the box. Lands to Rivas, and it takes a deflection. I believe it was Shannon Gomez who got in front of that chance, or Rivas who tried to play it to the opposite corner low, and Gomez may have saved a goal right there.
Wow, the defenders of SAFC just putting the bodies on the line here. Little misclearance from Kamiri, and Weehan actually fell too. PC hits the first block, and then miscue by Carter Manley. And again, yeah, like you said, Shannon Gomez and Kamiri to the rescue. Shannon Gomez had a similar block last game as well.
The end result is a corner for New Mexico United, which is their second of the match, and looks like they're going to play a traditional corner here. PC will get his head on that one. Portillo will Now come over to take the throw after the corner service. Yearwood will lose possession. That'll be a throw for SAFC here, deep in the corner in their own end.
It's a great shoulder challenge by PC there. Even though smaller in stature, just super strong.
Kalen Ryden. Seymour will give it back to Timbakis. Collier. And a dribble through a crowd and has it taken from his legs by Sam Hamilton. Rivas. Knocked away by Abu. Rivas will scamper over to his loose ball. Right out. It'll be a throw for New Mexico. Throw into Frater. Back for Rivas. Flicks it along. He was looking for Weehan, and it was Abu instead who stepped up. That should be a foul, and it will. It'll be whistled on Sam Hamilton.
And to be honest, he'd be pretty lucky to not get a yellow card here. It's a late challenge with the foot up on Collier.
He's already sitting on a yellow here tonight. While New Mexico has had some opportunities to go ahead here, the only one substitute by Zach Prince leads me more to believe that they're playing for the 1 point at this point of the match here as we're about to cross into the 90th minute. The offside flag is up on SAFC. And I'm maybe a little surprised, but maybe not at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, coming in with 3 losses and getting a point at Toyota Field with this SAFC team, I mean, that's not a terrible result.
Because at the end of the day, when you haven't had points in your last 3 matches, everything becomes valuable here in these final 5 for New Mexico, trying to stave off the challengers from the bottom to clinch a playoff spot. But maybe a little bit more conservative than we had imagined. Once they got the equalizer from Weehan, just the one substitute tonight, with Frater coming in as we, again, are just about to hit the 90th minute. We're in the 90th minute, just about to hit the 90-minute mark and go into added time. And again, if San Antonio doesn't take all 3 points, regardless of the results out of RGV and San Diego, SAFC will have to wait yet another match, perhaps until Tuesday, to clinch the top of the table. But we'll get 5 minutes of added time here at the end of the second half. It remains 1-0 RGV with a lead at home against Colorado Springs. Adeniran will get on the end of this one. Directed out by Kalen Ryden. Collier trapped a little bit in the corner, but will earn the benefit of a throw. Gomez can maybe get this one directed towards the box. He'll find Adeniran. Shannon will play it off of his right foot and unfortunately takes a knuckle wide, and it'll be awarded to Timbakis. And Timbakis certainly slow playing this one here a little bit now into stoppage time. Frater, as Kamiri will hunt it down. Tainer will drive it out. Another throw here for New Mexico United. Oh, slow play has worked a little bit as they've allowed. It's allowed him to move up the field here on throws. Yearwood spot Frater now. Away from his feet. Shannon Gomez will play it off the body of Rivas. Yearwood steps in front of the throw. Rivas flicks it off Collier. And Gomez is tripped up by Frater.
The game's been extremely choppy, I feel like, the last 10 to 15 minutes, where no team really has a good run of passes strung together, just really back and forth, fouls, and out of bound throws.
Rivas, 4 collapse on him. Does well to switch the play over to Seymour. Trying to stretch SAFC out here in the middle of the field. Harry Swartz back out of the right side. That's awarded back to San Antonio. Jack Lynn. Concede it right back. Be a foul over on the far side by Jack Lynn towards the end of stoppage time. Be interesting if New Mexico were to find a way to get into the top 4 and all the top seeds were to win the first weekend of the USL Championship playoffs, and New Mexico as the lower seed, number 4, would end up being the first side to come to Toyota Field for the Western Conference semifinals.
Historically, that's not what SAFC probably wants, but this is why these games right here going into playoffs are so big. You need to understand how to beat these teams and really exploit their styles of play.
Collier had that one out. Jack Lynn, not really seen him with the ball in space yet since coming on in the 61st minute. Gomez with a challenge out from Suaje. SAFC's got to hurry into that final half minute of stoppage time. Rivas off his body. Hamilton, Kamiri. And Gomez can't keep it in play. This might end something in a frustrating draw for San Antonio FC after getting the first goal to start the second half and kind of playing the way that they wanted to play this match tonight. Conceding an equalizer to New Mexico United is going to result in a 1-1 draw, and for the first time in 19 matches, San Antonio FC doesn't take all 3 points when scoring the opening goal.
Unbeaten though, unbeaten when scoring the first goal. It's still really remarkable. But just one lapse of concentration on that goal they gave up, and then a draw.
See, Almarcina maybe smarting a little bit after conceding that equalizer. San Antonio FC does add to a point, knocks one off the magic number. It's now 4 to clinch the top of the table in the Western Conference as Nacho Bailoni gets the goal tonight for SAFC, his second in as many weeks. Back on the air with you Tuesday night, SAFC and Colorado Springs Switchbacks, 7:30 right here on Bally Sports. Now for Hayden Partain and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. 1-1 your final tonight from Toyota Field. This has been a presentation of USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.